Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is VC Havoc, and I have a tutorial for those of you that have the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and love to stream to Twitch TV, or at least want to stream to Twitch TV. Now, we all know that you have to have a capture card in order to do this, which is normally going to be the Gato HDPVR, but let's be real, because the software that comes with the Gato HDPVR in terms of streaming isn't exactly as nice as we'd like it to be, and especially when you're using the streaming service from the actual console, you're very limited to what you can do. So that kind of puts you in a situation where your stream isn't going to be as entertaining, you can't change your scenes or have those magical plugins that make your stream unique. And so that's what I'm going to be showing you guys today, because when I set this up, there wasn't much tutorials or guides or instructions on how to combine the actual Elgato with OBS, and so that's what I'm going to be showing you. Alright, now before we can start setting everything up, you have to make sure that you have the right hardware, okay? So of course you're going to need the game console, which is going to be either the Xbox One or PlayStation 4. You're going to need the Gato HDPVR. You're going to need a laptop or a desktop, and of course a TV or a monitor. Now in this case, right now I am using a 2-monitor setup. The right monitor is used for my actual console gaming, and the left monitor is used for me to interact with my chat. And you're going to want to interact with your chat, guys, because that's what makes a good stream. And finally, the last couple of components you're going to need is 2 HDMI cables, one right here, and there goes my micro USB cable, which I'll have to go crawl on the desk and get that. But you're going to need the micro USB cable. Now let's talk about how you're going to set it up. Okay, so now that I have moved everything here, let's talk a little bit about how we're going to set this up. On the back of the Xbox, you're going to actually have 2 HDMI ports, okay? You're going to have an HDMI out, and you're going to have an HDMI in. You're not going to put the HDMI cable and the HDMI in. It's not going to work. You have to use the primary HDMI port. Okay? So you take your first HDMI cable, and what you're going to do is you're going to plug it right in to your HDMI in port, well, that's the AV. Okay? So you plug that right in. Now that we have our main HDMI cable from the console to the Elgato, we now have to take the second HDMI cable and put that HDMI cable into the monitor that we want to see the game played on. So you remember I talked about the right monitor being my gaming screen? Well, that's what we have to do, right? So you need to take the other HDMI cable and plug this bad boy, I'm about to lose that micro USB, into the HDMI out, okay? And if we can turn it here, there's a little micro USB plug-in right there, okay? Now, I'm going to have to get this cable. Hold on a second. Okay, so now that I've actually retrieved the little micro USB cable because it's evil, you're going to take the micro USB cable right here and you're going to put it right next to the HDMI out port, okay? Now, the other end of this HDMI cable is going to go into the USB port of your laptop or desktop, okay? This is what's going to also feed the connection for the Elgato software and or OBS, okay? Now that this thing is entirely a mess, I'm going to set this back up as normal. Okay guys, so now that we have all the hardware set up and we have the cabling connected properly, we can focus on OBS and getting it to recognize the Elgato game capture. So as you can see in the bottom left hand corner, this is the webcam that is showing my Xbox One, right? This is the monitor that I'm playing on. And the left monitor is where all the action is going to be happening. It's where I'm going to be talking to chat. Anyways, in order to get OBS to recognize that the capture card is connected, you have to make a new scene. If you don't know how to make a new scene, right click in this box, hit add scene, name it, bam, you're done. Okay, now, say you have your scene. You need to add a source. Normally, you can right click, hit add video capture device. However, it does not work this way with the Elgato. What you need to do is hit global sources. When you hit the global sources button, you'll have a panel that'll pop up here. And as you can see, CAT is the Gato capture card that I've added. It says CAT because Gato stands for the cat. Haha. Anyways, imagine that CAT is not there. What you'll need to do is now hit Add, and you'll have a series of options. This time you can hit Add Video Capture Device. And for testing reasons, we'll just, whatever, Elgato, I don't care. Alright. Once you do that, you're going to have another pop-up selection. A pop-up panel, okay? And as you can see, the first thing right here says the device, and it says Elgato Game Capture HD. If you do not see this, hit the drop-down menu and see if it's an option. If it's not an option, you may need to go back and check some of the cabling from the Xbox to the PC, including the micro USB cord. So make sure that the port, if it doesn't work, try changing the micro USB cable into a different port, USB port. Play around with the ports, guys. Make sure they work. Now, once you do actually have this as an option, select it, and you're going to hit OK. Now, if I hit OK right now, I'm going to get an error. What you see, a global source using this device already exists. That is because I already have it set up. If you have the Elgato Game Capture open, the software, or if you have the Elgato video capture device in any other type of scene that's not a global source or a duplicate, you're going to get the error. Okay? It has to be one single global source scene, nowhere else. But hypothetically, we're going to say it works. Okay? Once you do all that, you'll hit OK. You will no longer have an error. Okay? And then this is what's going to happen. Okay, so now that you had everything set up there, right, we added the global source, it will now register the game console. Now you do have to keep in mind that if you're using an actual PC monitor, you're going to have to change the input, okay, because remember, you're running an HDMI cable to your monitor, not a DVI. Your DVI is going to be going to the graphics card or onboard graphics, whatever, okay? So you're going to change the input. Now, once you start streaming, okay, what's going to happen is your monitor is going to go black for about 1 or 2 seconds. This is normal. This is just OBS detecting the Elgato and the picture that's coming from the system and your monitor. Totally fine. If you pause, or sorry, if you stop the stream or stop the recording, it's going to do the same exact thing. Now, if you're on like a normal DVI input, your screen's not going to go black if you start or stop the stream. Okay, and as you can see, everything is awesome. I can mess around and do whatever the hell I want. Okay, that's how you set it up to stream on Twitch. Now, there are a few other things that are very important to consider. Okay, the audio. As of right now, I have my game audio coming from my monitor and not my headset. Okay, so this part can be a little tricky to understand, and I'm going to explain to you how you can control the audio setup. For the most part, okay, most people are going to use a headset attached to their Xbox One controller or PlayStation 4 or to the TV, okay, and that's fine. The OBS will detect the default settings, and let me go ahead and change scenes here so you can get an idea what I'm talking about. Okay, so we're back to the settings, right? So what's going to happen is if you go back into your properties for your game capture, which you don't have to go through global sources because you're going to have a scene right there and all you got to do is right click at properties. But when you come into your device selection panel, okay, if you look over by the audio section, you'll see audio input device, use device audio. This means it's using the Elgato to stream the audio, okay? Now, you obviously have a bunch of other choices depending on what you have plugged in, but you're going to want to keep it on use device audio. I haven't really played with the Elgato Game Capture HD because I haven't found a reason to, You can this is where you can kind of experiment on your own. For now, use device audio. Okay? Now, as far as controlling the volume, and this is something I learned after testing about 30 minutes, like, why the hell is it so loud on my stream and nobody can hear me? If you have the output coming from your TV, okay, it's going to be loud. You cannot actually adjust the properties in the normal settings of OBS, okay, if you're running through the Elgato in terms of the normal input device, okay? It doesn't work that way. You have to control the audio in this panel. So this little red bar right here, this is where you control the volume of the game coming from the console, okay? I preferably have it at 60%, and this is because, well, for one, it's just enough for you to hear the game, and two, if there's music, like Destiny has freakishly loud music, it's not going to make someone's ears bleed, okay? Now, so this is where you come back and adjust this. If you look at the audio sync offset, this will pretty much reminds me of what's going to happen, okay? There is a microphone offset delay when you're using your own microphone on the computer instead of the actual console. So that means if, like, I'm using a microphone, a Blue Yeti attached to my PC, right? And this is what I'm talking into to broadcast to the stream through OBS. There's going to be a slight delay. I'm going to talk a little bit faster than what's going to happen in the game. Your game audio will sync just fine. There's no, I'm going to fire my gun, there's the animation, and then the sound comes 2 seconds later. No, it's perfect, it's on point, that's fine. You don't have to worry about any of that. I don't know 100% for sure if you run your headset through the actual Xbox One controller, if there's a serious delay. I can't tell you that. It's not something I test because I prefer using TeamSpeak over the Xbox party chat, okay? Now, if you actually do want to use TeamSpeak instead of the party chat through PlayStation or Xbox, I'm going to show you how to do that, and it's actually really, really simple. If you don't care for that, for this part, then consider it done. Consider yourself done with this whole tutorial. You can go in your happy way and start streaming and be more in control of your stream, okay, especially with OBS. If you have questions, though, still feel free to ask me. I'll be more than happy to help you out, okay, to the best of my knowledge. But for those that want to stay around for how to use your own personal headset and your own microphone for input to Twitch for better clarity, here's what you got to do. Go ahead and close out your global sources, okay? And now you're going to go into the normal settings panel, okay? Now, for me, in TeamSpeak, I have a headset on, which is just the output from TeamSpeak, and I use Blue Yeti for input. And the Blue Yeti is only for the stream. It's not for TeamSpeak, right? Because I have a headset for that. So make sure that you configure your headset through TeamSpeak. Let's see here. You can configure it just for TeamSpeak. Let me just show you this. In TeamSpeak, I'll show you what I have, okay? So, as you can see, my playback feature is my Siberia V2. They just call it speakers Realtek because I'm using auxiliary inputs, okay? So, one headset, that means headset and microphone coming from the same device. Done, okay? I'm talking to my friends through my headset, I'm listening to my friends through my headset, and I got the game audio from my monitor. Cool, alright? So, have it set up that way. I want to use my Blue Yeti for my Twitch stream. I want them to hear me through that because the clarity and the audio quality is much better than what's on my Siberia V2. So you go back into your audio settings, okay? Now, desktop audio device is my Siberia's. Why? Because I want TeamSpeak to come through to my stream, right? And that's what my headset, and that's what my TeamSpeak settings are set on. Okay? And now the microphone is set to the Blue Yeti because what you're hearing this recording on right now is the Blue Yeti, right? And that's what my stream is going to hear. Beautiful, clear microphone quality. This aside from my voice. Anyways, you set it up that way. Now, the desktop boost is going to be only TeamSpeak. It's not the game. It's not the game sound coming from your console. It's only coming from your computer. Okay, and the microphone boost, in this instance, it's for my Blue Yeti. In case the background noise for the game is a little bit too overpowering, I can easily come in here and boost it up 1 or 2 clicks, and voila, you can hear me. And you can do the same thing with TeamSpeak. I'm saying it for TeamSpeak because it's easier. You can do the same thing with TeamSpeak for the desktop boost and have everything audio, you know, balanced audio-wise. Now, I did mention that there is a delay where I will say something before it happens with the game, okay? I have extensively played with the audio offset for the microphone. I cannot fine-tune it, and you cannot go anything past 200 milliseconds, minus 200 milliseconds, okay? You can't. You just cannot do it. And when I did actually set that, for some reason the audio wouldn't, my microphone would not pick up. So that's something else I have to troubleshoot later on. But it's not a huge deal. It's really not a huge deal. As long as you're able to communicate with your chat, don't worry about it. Okay? And for the most part, that's it. There's nothing else really more you have to do. If you want to test your settings first, that's an absolutely brilliant idea. Remember that OBS does have a recording setting, okay? They do allow you to record, which is what I'm doing right now, okay? So instead of my broadcast settings, instead of saying, oh, hey, I want you to live stream, I want a file output you to my solid state drive, okay? And that way, you can record, you can test your audio balance, you can test the video quality, all that fun jazz, and then bam, start your live stream, have fun, and enjoy more control. But that's pretty much it. I'm sorry this ran on a little bit longer than I actually expected it to, but I wanted to make sure that I got across some key points because I can kind of see a few people probably having questions about this, considering I had questions about this and I had to figure it out on my own. But if you do have any problems or concerns or anything else you need me to answer for you, please feel free to ask me. I will answer you the best way that I can. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching, guys, and I hope this works out for you, and I'll see you guys next time.